Good morning. This is the top of Juniper Mesa, named for all these juniper trees up here. Unfortunately, they kind of preclude getting a good view of the surrounding area. But I'm going to break here anyway and talk some anime.
Big Wars.
By the 22nd century, mankind has terraformed much of Mars and has established large independent cities there. A century later, an alien race appears on the outer planets of Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. How smart can these aliens be if they think Pluto is a planet? These aliens call themselves the gods, claim to be creators of the human race, and declare that mankind is only allowed to inhabit the Earth. In 2376, these aliens attacked the human settlements on Mars. This is the premise of the 1993 anime sci-fi movie Big Wars. With a title that unimaginative, what can you expect from the plot? In addition to their flying saucers and missiles, these alien gods have two other big weapons. One is a huge mobile battle fortress called Jigoku by mankind, or Hell, and no human has ever seen it and lived to tell about it. The other weapon is more insidious, psychological in nature. They can somehow subvert individual humans, somehow turning them into willing servants of the gods, a process called infection, though it doesn't seem to be contagious. Captain Aku manages to capture the first god prisoner, though he loses his ship in the process. Surprise! These gods look like humans. The reward of a job well done is another job, and Captain Aku is assigned a new command, using the newest human battleship to take on the alien super battleship Hell. Shh! That mission is top secret. When some subverted human terrorists stage an attack at the air terminal, Captain Aku meets a sexy old friend of his, Lieutenant Darsa, now with military intelligence's counter-espionage unit, hunting out humans who spy for the gods. While the captain waits for his mission to launch, he picks up his old relationship with Darsa where they left off, with booze, pills, and sex, plus some professional pillow talk. The first half of Big Wars is more mystery than action. Who's spying on whom and for whom? Is he or isn't he infected with the god's subversion?
He's only there to interrogate a god prisoner of war.
A god, you say? The one that we caught at the Battle of Eden Plateau?
Yes, she was a fighter pilot.
Were you able to learn anything from her?
No, nothing. She erased her memory before we got her under the equipment. But I heard it. I heard the voice of the god.
Aku and Darsa are the main characters, even though she's not assigned to the captain's big mission. Other characters get very little development. Both Aku and Darsa have superior officers to deal with, of course, and the captain has a new crew and ship to break in, including one old friend who served under him on his old ship, a new bridge officer, the engineer who designed the new ship, and the ship's doctor who's experimenting with new medical ways to detect humans who have been subverted by the gods. The movie just doesn't have time to turn any of these people into real characters. The second half of the movie finally gets Captain Aku and his new ship off on their mission, and we're in for some battle action, though not without some psychological problems. Since the battle is being fought across Mars's desert surface, the battleships are all ground craft, launching support aircraft as needed. It's a lot like World War II naval warfare. In fact, the story is from a novel by Yoshio Aramaki, whose earlier novel, Konpeki no Kantai, provided the story for the anime Deep Blue Fleet, an alternate version of World War II Pacific naval warfare in which Japan wins. The result here is the second half of Big Wars is a sci-fi space anime that feels a lot like a World War II movie, with a lot of emphasis on crews following orders and procedures. Big Wars is directed by Issei Kume and Toshifumi Takizawa. The latter is a veteran of the original Dirty Pair series and later made Samurai 7. Here he lets fascination with technology and procedures slow down the storytelling. A little of that is good at establishing verisimilitude, but the excess here really bogs things down. One egregious example is when Captain Aku and his crewmen first enter their new facility. They have to pass a DNA security scanner for access. We get the idea after Captain Aku passes this elaborate test. Showing the other crewmen doing the exact same thing just slows the story down to a crawl. The art designs are fairly decent, and the character designs are a little different and more rounded than they usually were for their time. Considering this is set 400 years in the future, the Martian cities and lifestyles and military weaponry design may seem a bit too 20th century. But picturing the future is always hard, and if you make things too different, they become unrecognizable for what they are, and you're probably going to be wrong in a few years anyway. Big Wars is billed as a movie, but it's one of those second-tier anime movies. It's short, only 70 minutes long, and intended to run on a double feature with another title. Like movies for Silent Mobius, Arslan, or Cristania, it's on a limited budget. So, the animation is better than TV and some OVAs, but it's not in the same class as Akira or Patlabor or Totoro. In Big Wars, the animation is just a bit inconsistent. In some of the human action scenes, the animation uses fluid full-body movement, almost Disney-esque, except for the lack of clothing. When we get to the final battle across the Martian desert, we have some cover from the action from some sandstorms. Big Wars has a number of problems that ultimately weigh it down. It starts with some lengthy textual exposition that offers more dates and facts than we needed to know to tell its story. The first half tries for a mood of mystery about who can be trusted and who's a spy, in a sort of Invaders from Mars or Invasion of the Body Snatchers style. But in the second half, the crew seems to have dropped all suspicion, and the who's been subverted by the aliens part of the story just sort of evaporates. Which may be just as well, since the crew doesn't have enough personality for us to care much. Even the action parts in the movie seem slow. Captain Aku's battleship lies in wait like a submarine, while a confusing and largely irrelevant battle goes on around him. That battle might be more involving if we knew some of the characters involved in it, but the cast is too narrow. For his part, the hero, Captain Aku, is too passive. Usually in a conspiracy mystery, we expect the hero to show some curiosity and investigate. But Aku just enjoys his tryst with Darsa, trains his crew, and lets things unfold. His big mission for the second half is just assigned to him. The lackluster musical score doesn't help much. It seems to have no sense of the dramatic or mysterious, more often sounding like a comedy or a lullaby. I give Big Wars just 2 stars. As a mystery thriller buried inside it somewhere, trying to dig out from under the lethargic pace and overemphasis on technology and military protocol. By the way, something else Big Wars has in common with an old war movie is that this is just a story of one battle, not the whole war. In a movie about a real war, we'd already know who won. Here, there's lots left untold, which is not saying I want a sequel. Big Wars has had a US release on VHS and then DVD from USMC. It was one of their earlier dubs, and it's fair at best. I think you'd do way better with the original Japanese soundtrack, or just not watching at all. With blood and nudity, it's not for the little kids.
Oh, crap. This isn't what you want to see walking around a peak. Those plumes of smoke coming from over that ridge can only mean a forest fire. And that's the south, where we came from. Don't panic.
Well, half an hour after full panic jogging down this trail, came over a ridge, and as you can see, that fire over there is on the other side of Walnut Creek, and that seems to be the Apache Creek area. So it's not going to be a problem for me today. Maybe a problem for someone else, or may actually be a controlled burn. It's the right time of year for it. So I'm going to catch my breath now, and then finish my walk down this mountain. Thanks for watching.